Okay, the first thing I always look at is see if you did the layer mask correctly and you did the layer mask correctly. Okay, there's a couple things I would work on and they're very noticeable. Like here I can see this white border around the orange. Okay, and that's kind of a little distracting in that sense. So one of the things you might have to do is clean up that selection, come inside the mask a little bit, and paint that away for that. So like here on your shoulders, I mean, you could experiment here with the paintbrush tool. You might use a soft edge brush. Kind of click it. Be careful not going out, but I mean, you definitely want to kind of work with that. I always put, I create a new layer down below. I just fill it with color, so it helps me look. The one area you probably need to work on is your selection of your bread. It's a little choppy. Okay, so when we put it on the background, because you're going to do that in the milestone 4 or 5, that's going to be very noticeable. Okay, um, the one thing I'm not, the head area with the eyes, I want the character to stand out. I don't know if the macaroni is going to work because all it looks like to me is just, two circles on a macaroni. It doesn't feel like it's eyes. So one of the things you might have to do is you might have to look at the head area and see if there's something better to utilize for that. The other thing you might have to think about is putting eyebrows up with the eyes, and this, because it's a macaroni head, you might not get enough room for that, because as soon as you put some eyebrows in, it makes the character come alive. It's like, oh, is he or she inquisitive, and so forth. So finding something like, for example, let me take one of these here real quick, and I'll duplicate it. So here, I put an eyebrow in, and let's move that over. And then I'll flip it. But of course, what you're going to have is, the angles with that the elbow. But adding that, and then like for example, if I go up to filter and I do like for example lookify, let me zoom in real quick. Use the forward warp tool. Bend it a little bit. Now that's going to throw off your mask. You want to merge the mask and the image together for that. But what I'm trying to do is give you an idea. Is you want to create that illusion. And let's see, apply layer mask, and then I can do a filter liquify. So see how that, it just gives it a little bit different look, for that purpose. So, anytime you add that, because you want the facial features to come out. And so this is one area we need to work on besides the bread and so forth. Now, when we get into the next milestone, I'll make suggestions because right now everything looks like they're laid on top of each other. They don't feel like they're connecting. So in the next milestone, what I'll say is like, for example, how can we get those legs to look like that's going inside the egg, and so forth. So those are things that we'll work on to in the next milestone.